Scorpio Rising, Death in Vegas on XFM 104.9. Steve, I'm Ricky Gervais. Carl's a little bit less stressed now. There's camera crew have gone, his dad's not listening, we think.
Well, yeah, who knows? Who knows?
But, you're chilled.
I tell you what though, my mum was loving it. Do you know Rockbusters?
Do I know Rockbusters? I love Rockbusters. I think I dream of it.
She was taking part. I mean, she doesn't know a lot of the new bands and that, but she made some up for some older bands and that.
Oh, she did some herself?
She made some herself, sent them in the post.
So are you going to use those today?
She's not quite got the hang of it.
So, unlike her genius son.
Have you got them there? Can we hear what they are?
You keep talking a second then.
I'm quite excited. I mean, if they're even approaching, say, the genius of Wet Knee Houston.
Yeah.
There was another one which was something to do with a trench, Carl. What was that?
That was Dandy Warhols. That was a good one.
Dandy Warhols.
I think that was his finest moment. Yeah.
Incidentally, I've had an email here from someone called Sarah, if that's a he or a she, but let's assume it's a she, just for glam's sake.
Yeah.
She said she saw an old man eating a Twix last week, Carl, so that blows your theory at all.
I'm not having it.
Okay. So if you are a bloke, he's calling you a liar, so maybe you want a little rumble later?
In fact, if you are a bloke, he's calling you a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, Alan. These are ones that my mum's made up.
Brilliant.
Right, just in case you're a new listener, I'll give some initials out and a cryptic clue. And it makes up a band, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or a solo artist.
Not so much cryptic as what you're thinking. Go on.
My mum sent this one. This group would be good at doing your hair.
This group would be good at doing your hair.
TP.
Is there a group called the Hairdressers from the 60s?
This group would be good at doing your hair.
TP.
TP. Is it the something?
The Platters.
Platters. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, that's all right.
Nice.
Let's have a look. This group sound like dinosaurs.
Group sound like dinosaurs.
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Yeah, I see what you mean. They're not so much cryptic, are they?
Leave her alone. They're good.
This group likes being by the sand and the sea.
This group likes being by the sand.
They're the Beach Boys,
Beach Boys.
This band are called the Beatles. The Beatles.
Hang on. We just have
What else you got?
It's funny because one of them that she's done, I'm actually doing today. I thought of in the week.
Right?
So,
Is it the same clip?
It was, yeah.
Wow,
But
great minds think alike.
Here's
So
the
this
last
is obviously
one.
coincidence.
Here's the last one from her. This guy sounds superb.
This guy sounds superb.
The Bachelors.
Glenn Campbell.
Not bad, actually.
Good. I like that.
I'd tell you this, I think you should get onto one of the big game organisations, Parker Brothers or whatever, because this has got to be I mean, this could sweep the nation at Christmas. Don't you think this is the perfect Christmas game?
Yeah.
Well, I think this is what's going to make or break the MTV thing.
Right. Some kind of TV version.
Yeah. I'm just thinking into ad breaks, you know, coming up next is this band.
Be careful though, Carl, because, you know, make sure you retain the rights, because I can see this selling abroad. You know, you could
and I can see someone coming along and taking this sort of like the Rockbusters and changing one word and like another game out of it and just using the same format. I know. I can't think of them there, but they could change. So
sort of like
they change the word rock to something else and have it.
What could it be? Brick block?
Yeah, and so you have to, you know what I mean? So be careful.
Blockbusters will never work.
Look at his little face.
So we're doing that later. Got some good prizes.
Okay. We'll talk about the prizes after.
A bit.
Yeah.
Educating Ricky.
Yeah, got that.
We've got the woman who's got a ghost in her house.
Yeah. It's a shame she's not here live, because I feel like I want to ask a few questions, Rick. I don't know about you.
Don't worry, I've covered it all.
You've covered it all, God.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, play a record.
Rick, I know probably you, like me, are just too busy really to keep abreast of new music, aren't you?
Yeah.
We're busy people, we've got, you know, important showbiz parties to go to and stuff. That's why I have friends of mine who send me compilations and stuff. That's one of my quarterly compilations from my friend Harry, and that's All Downhill From Here by Jim O'Rourke.
I've got a new track coming up later, actually, that I think you might like. So, you know, we're inflaming each other's desire for new songs as well as going back to the back catalogue of some classics.
Sure.
Alright? I love adverts better though.
I do.
I love adverts.
It's weird.
Missy Elliott on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais with me, Steve and Carl. Carl, why have you got a headache? You got a headache?
Just a bit stressful because the moves on this week.
Are you leaving house?
Oh, by the way, the XFM listeners came round to my house and bought the futon and table.
Did they?
Were they happy with it?
Quite normal. They were well happy.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe the luck with it.
What do you mean quite normal? What do you mean quite normal?
Well, it's always a bit scared, isn't it, getting people round.
I imagine they were scared.
Well,
And were they excited to see you? Could they, I mean, they were, you know, could you tell that they were pretty pleased to see you?
no, I don't think so. I mean, you know,
You're
but-
Karl Pilkington.
yeah, but the fellas sort of, I mean, they brought the whole family round, which was a bit odd.
Well, it's not often they get the chance to visit a living freak.
Anyway, no, they were nice. They were
And you're
nice.
moving now, yeah? He said he'd phone me up today. You know, it was absolutely tipping it down. Right? He had to cycle in. Right? Because he said, because of the move, he doesn't want to leave his bike round there. Right? And he said, and Suzanne, oh, I can't say this in case he's listening, can I?
He won't know. will he?
He said Suzanne's hired the oldest removal man in London.
You should hear him. And the thing is, right, we booked him because everyone else happened to be booked out, but this fella's free, right? So he called up this morning. I've never spoke to him, but he was on the phone. He sounded about 90.
Yeah.
Carl thinks that he's going to have to do all the work.
And the thing is, right,
Cheap.
it seems
He
to be
already
cheap.
wanted some Werther originals.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
listen, it seemed to be cheap because it's £50 an hour. But how long is it going to take him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So-
genius.
When's the move on then? When's the
Oh, well, he's coming round. He came round today to bring some empty boxes, and he was struggling with them. So it actually happens on Wednesday.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so
Rick, I noticed that you were laughing and almost had a heart attack. Doesn't bode well for the boxing match, does it?
Carl for the moment, haven't I? I've had my Lemsip.
Anyway, what we're doing now, Carl?
well, I teased you with it before.
You going to get it out again?
I'm always like trying to get you, you know, thinking, opening your mind up a bit to ghosts and stuff.
Yes.
So this woman who I know, she said she'd come in and I could interview her to try and sort of, you know, get the belief out there.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
'cause
thought
there's not enough belief in the occult and rubbish out there.
So does she think she has a ghost?
she has, yeah, she's
got a
had a
She has, no, it's fact.
Yeah, no,
It's fact,
sure.
yeah, she has.
So I thought maybe it's a new feature we could try for a couple of weeks, see how it goes down. You know Parkinson.
Uh-huh.
What about Pilkington? Welcome to Pilkington.
Thank you.
My guest today is Taryn. She's a plugger. You're still a plugger, aren't you?
No, we do co-management.
Right,
now.
she does co-management, but she was a plugger. She looks after therapy, Raging Speed On, Slash, all the big names, yeah? But we're not here to talk about music today. We do a lot of that on XFM. Today we're talking ghosts. Now, Ricky and Steve, who I do the show with, they're not having any of it. So I said, well, I know someone who, you know, gets on with ghosts. There's a lot of them. So I thought I'd get you in today, have a little chat for a couple of minutes, just to sum up the story so they get an idea of what happened. You had a horse, yeah? You had it in some stables.
Yes.
He hasn't let her speak yet.
You went to, like, look after it and that, play around with it, take it for a ride
Went
and
out
that.
riding.
Yeah. Two of your mates were in the stable where your horse is.
Not my stable, in the opposite stable.
In the opposite stable.
And I heard them giggling and
They're
getting
messing
up to
about and
something.
that, yeah. You heard them having a laugh. So you thought, right, what are they up to? So you go in, and they're messing about with a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Right. So, this is where you come in. Did you get involved with the Ouija board?
Unfortunately, I did.
Right. And what happened then?
I was like, oh, you don't believe in this. Oh, let me have a go.
Right.
And ask a few questions, put our hands on, and it actually started moving.
So a lot of the stuff you asked it, did the things happen that you
Yes,
asked?
they did.
Right? So that's scary for a start, right? We haven't even got to the ghost bit yet. So you mess about with
Trap
that.
soul,
Yeah.
I like to call
Right,
it.
trap soul. So you're messing about on the Ouija board. You say, right, I've had enough of this now.
Yeah.
I've got all the answers I need.
Yeah.
You go home.
Didn't like them.
You go in the house, and it's a bit nippy.
The flat is absolutely fine. It's when I went into the bedroom. You've got to remember, it's a very, very warm, hot evening.
Right.
And walk into the bedroom and note it is cold, colder than usual. But I'm actually quite glad because it's so hot.
Right, okay.
Completely ignored the fact that the windows were all shut but the curtains were blowing. Didn't sleep well at all.
Right.
Next evening, same again.
Freezing.
Yeah, very, very noticeably cold.
Curtains blowing.
Yeah, I'm fast asleep, get woken up, the wardrobe's opening.
So at this point, this is where we clear up. You're not on crack. You're not.
Oh, never touched drugs in my entire life.
You're not a drinker.
Nope. I will have the odd glass of red wine.
Yeah, right. That's all right. They recommend that anyway. They say it's good for your heart.
What started happening was, as the week progressed, I also felt the bed covers at one point at night fold over, double bed, the bed covers fold over, and it was like someone was getting in the bed next to me. But you got to remember, when you're in a deep sleep, you're not quite thinking, and you're thinking, I'm losing it. I was getting more and more tired, more and more a little stressed. I'm really thinking I was having a breakdown. The final straw was when the clothes on the end of my bed that I just throw hit me.
How come you were going back home at night?
Because I was sceptical. In fact, 6 months ago, I said, I don't want to go there. People will think I'm mad. But you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
I know there's more out there.
Well, brilliant. Well, cheers for that. And thanks for being a guest on Pilkington.
Now, everyone knows over the past sort of like few years, my big pet project, it hasn't been my own career, it's been get Carl famous.
Yeah.
I want people to recognise him in the street, come up to him and say, you bald-headed mank twat.
Well, let me tell you now, Rick, I've
on.
been out and about, and a lot of people have come up to me and said, it has Carl Pilkington got a head like a fucking orange?
Well,
and
I've
I've
been-
had to instantly confirm the answer to be yes.
But he's had a call. He had a call recently from a film company asking him if he's got any ideas for movies. Now, how desperate, in what dire straits must the British film industry be that they're going, we need Carl Pilkington. We have hit rock bottom. And he went along for an interview.
So what, and you went in and you...
I went along and had a meeting. And they just said, right, you know, got any ideas? And sort of said, you know, what are you thinking? What sort of thing are you after? Are you after action, thriller, whatever?
Because you can provide any of that.
I love that he's playing it cool, like you've come to the right person.
Yeah.
My time's precious, what do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Carl Pilkington, the movie doctor, what do you need, Papa?
So, thought of this idea sort of on the spot.
Good.
That whiz by 'em. No, but sometimes that's how good ideas come up, don't they? Just
So a
random.
lot of yours have come up, yeah.
No, but if you just
Randomly.
talk, I find that your mouth comes out with stuff.
Right, there's another
Right,
quote.
right.
There is another quote. That,
If you talk, your
that-
mouth comes out with...
that to me stands along with what were those things in Gremlins called?
No, but what I mean, if you sit there and try and use your brain to do it,
Right.
it doesn't work the same. Just keep talking. Just keep your mouth talking, and eventually it will come out with something pretty good.
That is exactly what Plato said.
So
To
anyway,
Aristotle, he said, "Sit down. I've got an idea for you." Aristotle said, "Plato, how do I go?" Right, just keep talking, and eventually your brain will come out with stuff.
So what I thought, I just started off by saying like actors' names and that who I thought should be in it, because then that's giving more. It's building.
Right,
Okay,
so
who'd
who's
you
that
say?
saying?
Who'd you say?
So I said, right, I'm seeing Clive Warren,
That's Clive Warren.
Who's Clive Warren?
the one who was in Closer.
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen.
Right, all right.
Did they look at you like you're a fucking idiot?
So they all started trying to figure out, who's this Clive Warren we've not heard about? He must be amazing. He's on
Clive Warren. Get me Clive Warren on the phone.
Who's got
Get
Clive
me
Warren?
Clive Warren.
And I said Rebecca De Mornay, right?
What?
Oh, where did that come
She
from?
hasn't been in a film for 15 years, has she?
Clive Warren and Rebecca De Mornay. They thought he was a genius. They've never thought of putting Clive Warren with Rebecca De Mornay.
But hang on a minute, you could have any film star. This is your fantasy casting, and you choose a bloke that doesn't exist and a woman who hasn't been on TV or in a film for 10 years.
Oh God!
Why didn't you choose, you know,
Someone who existed.
J-Lo or someone who's a big
Oh
star?
God! Clive Warren! Oh God! Oh
So
God.
anyway, starts off, and the people, you know, you're seeing into their lives from
Yeah.
like the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
Radio's on. You know, they're going about the day. They're having the breakfast. They're saying, "Oh, what we're doing tonight?" And you're thinking, "Oh, they've got a nice life." She's like, "Love you" and all that. Yeah. He walks out the house, gets hit by a bus.
Oh,
So Clive Warren's
dead.
I don't know if Clive Warren would take that part.
Because he ain't got much to do, has he?
No, I don't. If I know Clive Warren,
And I think you do.
I think I do. Carry on. So he's hit by a bus, so he's dead.
he's hit by a bus and that. The titles come up.
Oh,
It's got you, right? She's
Starring
devastated. She's
Clive Warren.
fed up. She's devastated in that. Doctor says Clive's dead.
Who's playing the Doctor? Jack Nicholson House.
What's that fella who was in Independence Day?
Will Smythe.
No, the old black fella.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him in.
Morgan
He's the
Freeman,
doctor.
yeah.
He says, your husband's dead. She's like, oh, God. What happens then is, he says, but listen, what we can do now, we can take the brain out.
Right.
Right.
And a fact that I'd read that day before the meeting, this isn't in the film now, this is me.
Right, but
Right.
lucky, yeah, luckily.
I
you've
read a
that.
thing about how the brain can run on half of it. You've actually got a full brain,
Some
run it
of
on
us
half. So this was in my mind still.
Well, half your mind, yeah.
So I said, what happens is Morgan Freeman says, been working on this. You can run your life on half a brain.
Right.
She's sort of a bit like, what are you telling me this for now? My husband's just died like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, but if we're going to do this, we've got to act quick. She's like, do what? He says, whilst his brain's not fully dead, because it stays awake for a bit when you
Oh, he's not dead then. Fine.
No, but
Wait.
yeah, he is, but they found out that
Right.
it stays awake a little bit.
No.
So-
No, he's gone.
No,
You're
no.
hit by a bus.
Yeah, no, he's dead. If the brain's dead, you are dead.
Clive Warren's dead.
And if the brain's not dead, you're not dead.
No, but it's like people in a coma, they're dead, aren't they? But the brain isn't dead.
No, they're in a coma.
No,
They're in
they're
a
dead.
coma.
No, they come out of coma.
Alright, then he's in a coma, he's been hit by the bus, but the chances are he's not going to come out of that coma, but his brain is still awake. So, change that, that's easily done.
Hold on though. I like this fact that he's in a coma, so they're going, look, he's definitely going to die in this coma. Take the brain out now. Pop the brain out.
But why is that such a weird thing when that's what they do now? That's what they do now.
What is?
That's what they do.
What?
They do that.
What? A brain transplant?
No, but when, like, how I've signed that donor card,
Yeah.
like, if anything happens to me...
No.
they've
There's
got the
no
lot.
such thing as a brain donor. Oh, we've explained to you before.
Yeah, but they're working on it. They've said something about Einstein. They messed about with his brain for ages, trying to work out if it was full of stuff. That's what they're doing. They're working on that. There's loads of things that doctors are doing that we don't know about. I've seen some weird stuff on the internet.
Yeah, I know you have. Yeah.
I saw a programme on Channel 5 where a monkey brain was still alive and it was stuck on a stick. And they
You were
poked
watching
it.
the Magic Roundabout.
They poked it and it reacted.
Right.
So it's still alive. It's being kept alive. And it's only a matter of time. What's the brain linked up to? As long as you can link it up to the eyes and somehow so it can tell the arms and legs what to do, you're laughing.
I love that. Imagine a team full of doctors going, well, we're going to try and do a brain transplant. Carl, as long as you can link this up to the eyes and tell the arms and legs what to do, we're laughing. Cheers, Carl. See you later.
Then what happens is they say, do you want half of his brain in your head?
Half of his brain in her head.
She says, definitely not. I'm having you struck off. She starts screaming. She calls the police. He gets
Yeah,
arrested.
but you'd have said that years ago when people can have, like, someone else's arm put on their body and stuff.
Yeah, but he's only in a coma.
Yeah.
No, but he's not going to come out of that coma.
Right.
So it's like this or nothing. It's
Right.
like, look, you know, what we're going to do here, we can either turn the switch off
Yeah.
or we can put his head in your head.
But why would
But
you...
so
why,
what he does, so what they do then, they're going to take half his brain.
Half of his brain, take out half of hers, pop it in place.
Why would she do that?
Because she loves him.
But hold on, well, no, wait. What would she then be?
Because this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, sorry.
What happens is, he explains all this, so I mean, this would probably cover about 20 minutes in the film, but I'm just rushing it.
I just
rushing
switched
it up
off,
now.
but yeah.
No, you wasn't. This bit would have you. So what...
Well,
what-
I'd have actually left when I wouldn't have even gone in to see a film starring Clive Warren and Rebecca De Mornay, unless it was 1985.
So the thing is, she's the same as you. She says the same thing. She goes, why would I do that, doctor? And he goes, well, what will happen is, he's gone, but you'll have his thoughts. So in the morning when you say, oh, I don't know what to have, well, I have cornflakes, his bit of the brain will sort of say,
Have a Weetabix.
Have shredded wheat or
Yeah.
whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, good idea.
Sorry, so the point of this film is that the dead man can remind her what breakfast cereal she likes.
Yeah. So the thought...
What do you mean, yes? So that's it, is it?
No, that's not the only
Wait,
thing.
oh, wait a minute, this is only Act 1.
That's just the first bit. Everything's going well. She has it done.
So who is she? Is she herself?
She's Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah.
But now and again, with him chipping in with a bit of voiceover. So the idea is it's all going well at the beginning, and she's...
So she can't decide what dress to wear.
She's had half of her brain taken out and put in a bin, okay? And Clive Warren's half has been put in there. So now she's walking round, okay?
So she's like a schizophrenic.
No, like I say, the brain is alive, so it's all going well when she leaves hospital.
Yeah.
And she gets a first taste of it, and it's a bit weird to get hold of, because she's sort of... I think when she signs herself out, he's sort of fighting, writing his name and stuff, so there's a few sort of technical things that she has to get used to.
And does Clive's brain know that he's now inside her brain?
Does that matter?
Well, I would say it matters, because otherwise...
Yes, it does matter, Carl. What's he thinking?
What's
the point of this? Why has she gone along with this?
Because she really loves him.
But what's in it for him? What does she think?
Well, say if I died, and Suzanne said, go on, I'll have half of Carl's, right? She would wake up in the morning to a thought of me sort of going, oh, you never guess what I've just thought about, or whatever. I'd still be there. The rest of your body is sort of waste, isn't it?
But Carl, the rest of your body's sort of waste.
No, it is, kind of. When someone dies, it's not that person anymore, is it? You can't have a chat with them. So if you could have someone's brain in your head when they're dead, you'd have it, wouldn't you?
What are you talking about? Why would I have someone's brain in my head when they're dead?
Well,
I've got a perfectly good brain.
So you're telling me you wouldn't have it done then?
Of course I fucking wouldn't.
I can also categorically state I wouldn't either.
Yeah, but you're saying that now, but once you're in that position that someone who, you know, you love and that dies, if the doctor said, do you want it?
No! I go, no! It's madness!
I don't think
it's madness!
I mean, that's what I've got, because I'm not a fan of tattoos. I don't...
But where did you read this again?
This was...
Internet?
This was on the internet, yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay.
And I just don't understand why people do it. That's what got me attention. Because me...
Sorry, what have I learned from this?
That if you wanted to get one, you know, you can get one done by a machine now. You know, people say machines are sort of taking over and that. And there's another one. But it's just the fact, I mean, I don't know.
So give us the snappy title of this education again.
Why don't they just get a diary or some paper or something to write it on? That's what I always think when I see people with loads of tattoos. Like there's that fella who we were talking about the other week in Scotland who was covered 99% in tattoos. It's just like, what have you done that for?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can't get rid of it now. You've done it now.
Yeah.
One of my uncles, right, Tattoo Stan, he's just caked in them.
Right.
I don't think he's my proper uncle, but it's just like my dad's got. No, my dad's got.
That's a province in Russia, isn't it?
My dad's got loads of mates who.
When you say he's not your proper uncle,
do you know, like when someone comes around, you're alright, Uncle Stan.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there was my dad had loads of mates like that. There was John the Screw.
Right.
So he either works in a prison or he likes to have sex.
Cabbie. Cab driver.
Okay.
There was Jimmy the Hat. I don't know what he did.
Jimmy the Hat?
Yeah. And,
did he wear a hat?
No.
No.
There was Fred the Veg.
You sure he wasn't a relative?
Sorry.
Fred the Veg used to get us like big bags of potatoes and that.
Fred Veg, okay.
And there was Tattoo Stan.
Right.
And he was just caked in them, and I used to always look at him thinking, why have you done that? I must have only been like, you know, 6
I
or
suppose
7.
if you're born with a name like Tattoo Stan,
exactly,
you're destined, aren't you?
Were they like a 1950s gang?
I'm worried about. I'm worried about
doing a bank job.
What was his name? The Hat. What was his name?
Jimmy the Hat.
I'm worried about Jimmy the Hat.
Yeah.
Not having a hat.
I don't understand it.
Are you sure he didn't have a hat?
Not when I met him.
Did he ever wear a hat?
I didn't see him that much.
Do you think it was a joke, like, you know, when your mate's sort of like, you know, 8 foot and huge, you call him Little John or Tiny? Do you think?
Well, the fact that he never wore a hat.
They went, hold on, I've noticed something about Jim. Go on. No hat. And I go, oh, true, let's call him Jim the Hat.
Jimmy the Hat, yeah. But my Uncle Stan, he had like loads of them. He did them himself.
Oh dear.
And it was always that thing.
What was it? Things like?
It was he had like the
cross
cut here,
made in Britain.
And if you're going to do them yourself, I'd say at least make sure you're sort of a good drawer.
Yeah.
And don't do it in the mirror so it comes out backwards.
Well, that was the other thing. But like, I remember he did. I mean, names are all right. He had like all his kids' names down his arm. And,
What are they called?
Yeah.
oh, God, it is...
Tattoo Stan Jr.
Yeah.
And,
Paul shits the bed.
I'm trying to...
Oh, Wobeye Kate.
Yeah.
Well, he had,
Frankie never amounts to anything.
Oh, God.
so he had, like,
Johnny, I don't think he's mine.
so he did all this stuff. I don't even know why I'm telling you about tattoo.
No, nor do I, Carl.
Hey,
to be honest,
I don't know if maybe you just have to picture this. For my picture, my sister had to take a photo once. She was working in like a factory, not to denigrate people who work in factories, but there happened to be a particularly oddball, kind of lank-haired, weird guy living, working in this factory, and he did his own tattoos, and she took a photo of it because she was so extraordinary. He'd drawn it himself. Now, bear in mind, it was the kind of thing you saw when you were doing art when you were like 15. This is the sort of person who designed their own like heavy rock album cover.
Yeah.
He's that sort of person. So, I mean, like,
was it a dragon with breasts?
You're not far off, Rick.
No.
You're not far off. I'll tell you what it was. He had this tattooed on his back. It took up his entire back. She took a photo of it for me. He drew it himself. He had it tattooed himself, and it was just too much detail. Too much detail for a tattoo. It needs to be fairly simple, I think, to make a tattoo. It was... it was a naked female vampire having a shower.
Why was she having a shower?
Having a shower, that's why she was naked.
Yeah.
And so she was
been out, she was presumably
she'd been out
a lot of blood.
Yeah, well, she was naked, so you could see her naked body.
Yeah.
She's quite a beautiful vampire, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Although the symmetry of her face was somewhat off.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that gave it away
had a bad spine.
was that she did have some pointed teeth.
Right.
I think that was how you knew she was a vampire.
Right. Was she looking?
But the fact that she was having a shower was very specific,
weird, isn't it?
But he sort of drawn in all
he said to the guy, I said, listen, I want a naked bird, right? But I don't want it to be gratuitous. He goes, well, you could put her in a shower, because then they went, pop her in the shower.
That at least gives some kind of justification.
That's the plot. I mean, you know, it's justified within the story if she's in a shower. Sure. Okay. Yeah, we'll have that. Carl.
So...
Yeah, okay. Any other nicknames your friends of your family had?
What was your nickname, Carl?
Just, Pilky.
Because for a minute I thought Carl the Veg would have made a lot of sense.
Yeah, Carl the Veg. And why has your dad got a little tattoo, Dopey Twat, on his arm?
Right, we'll do the answers to Rottbusters next, yeah?
Brilliant. Buzzcocks. Still sounds brilliant, that.
It is a cracker.
They're from Manchester as well, Carl, so they've got a little bit of pride there, eh?
I think one of them's, one of my mate's dads.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
What's his nickname?
Well, his name was, I don't really want to say his name.
Oh, okay.
Laurie, his first name was.
Yeah. Still is, probably.
Yeah. He was a good lad.
Well, you know those little fellas at school that didn't know each other, weren't related and weren't friends because it would be too obvious, that they had webbed hands and big heads?
Yeah.
What were they, did they have any nicknames?
Again, too obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, Big Ed, or, you know.
Sure.
I bet you're good at juggling, or...
Frog twins.
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt you guys, because we've just had an email here. I hate to query you, Carl, and you're educating Ricky section, because I know you put a lot... Don't read this, let me just read it for you. Just had an email here from Olivia, and this has also been corroborated by someone else, I forget who it was. She just tuned in, and she just heard you explaining the expression, letting the cat out of the bag.
Sure.
It's all to do with cats that were put in bags by dodgy butchers, possibly the 17th century, we're not too sure. Anyway, she claims... Well, let me see, she says she uses both the words twaddle and crap, in relation to your definition. She says letting the cat out of the bag is an old shipping expression from when sailors used to get flogged for their misdemeanours. The cat is the cat of nine tails, which is a kind of whip thing that they used to keep hanging in a bag below deck. If it was discovered that a sailor had done something wrong, the cat would be let out of the bag and he'd get a whipping. Hence, don't let the cat out of the bag, meaning to cover something up.
She's talking nonsense,
no,
right?
she's not. That's the truth.
Because the one I read about that was there's not enough room in here to swing a cat, right? And that was people who worked on a boat.
Yeah, but that's the same one.
Well, that's fine. They can have two expressions for the
They're
same
not going to keep going on about people working on a boat to get loads of sailors.
You can't have two phrases about the same thing. They're not going to be going
to do with their time.
Think how many
just coming up and stuff.
Think how many metaphors have birds in them, and you know it's ridiculous. Why can't you have? You can have as many sounds as you like about anything, Carl.
Yeah,
there's not a rule.
Whatever.
They don't go. We've made one up about the cat and nine tails.
Well, cheers for that, Oliver.
Olivia. Yeah.
Don't see your email coming up with the Rockbusters answers, so
You better give us the answer
let's
again.
give them out. The first one was, you've been dunking that for too long.
Yeah.
That was LB.
Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, got that one. Yeah.
The third one, we'll jump to that one because you've got it. Well, I've had a rubbish day, so I'm happy it's all over. That was GK.
That's a great one.
That's
Gladys Knight.
Gladys Knight. That is
Knight.
brilliant, Carl.
And the one that you're both having a problem with, you won't be able to play that game in this pub. The table ain't big enough. FD.
Go on.
Fats Domino. Yeah?
What?
The dominoes, you play dominoes in a pub. The dominoes fat. Pub tables are quite small. You won't be able to play that game in this pub. Fats Domino.
Rubbish.
So, do you want to pick a winner? Random
Rubbish.
Winner? Random
Well,
winner?
you say it's rubbish, but plenty of people got the right answer.
Rubbish.
Who do you want to go with?
The bunch of slightly rubbish prizes is going to Elliot Kay from Chigwell in Essex. Well done to Elliot.
I just before we go, can we just get a little email off Anders, because I think he must. Well, I think we probably turned him round with this show.
I'd have thought so.
I think he's going to be saying, coming to us with his tail between his legs, saying, "Sorry lads, a blinding show. I was wrong. You were right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
A song for the lovers is very exciting this week.
Yeah, we haven't had a song for the lovers or the ladies for quite some time. Let's
Yeah,
combine the two.
that's what I mean,
And a bit
sorry.
of John Martin, May You Never. Let's end with that this
Beautiful
week. We'll
track.
see you next time.
see ya.
Bye.